Hi, Y Scholars. Welcome to week 21 of Study Group. Today's week is on test prep, memorizing info part 1. Our objectives today are to learn and review 3 different types of memorization methods and practice each method for better test prep. So to begin today, we want to review our vision and mission. Our vision is to elevate people's growth mindsets so we all achieve higher ambitions, and our mission is to guide first-gen high school students so they pursue and obtain a college education. So again, this is our goal as a program and why we, again, are here today and why we join and participate. Moving forth, we also want to just review why we conduct study groups and the purpose for us to collaborate here together. So again, it's to increase our connections with other wise scholars, improve your student success skills. So again, trying to really enhance and optimize your ability of success in the academic setting and guide you to practice your growth mindset. Last week's content material revolved around formulating effective conceptual questions. So we saw as a group that it is more appropriate to ask for help when they are, again, conceptual questions. So these are questions that really tackle the why and how of concepts. So they go further than just the definition level, which are fact-based questions, and instead, again, require a different approach to being solved. So again, when we're asking for help, it's important that we're using conceptual effective questions. So then again, we could clearly address those points of confusions. So after spending these past 2 weeks on study tips, we also want to discuss test prep tips. And again, this comes from knowing how to guide our questions. So again, when we formulate an effective question, we first want to know the purpose behind our question. So what's this goal that we're trying to achieve by addressing this question, by addressing this concern to another individual? So again, the first step to making an effective question is to, 1, know your purpose. Moving forward, we discussed that there are 3 additional steps that must be implemented when we're coming up with effective questions. So these include what I know, where I get stuck, and restating your purpose. So again, overall, there are 4 steps to formulating effective conceptual questions. So 1 is to, again, know your purpose. What is the goal, or what do you expect to resolve? Then you move forward with explaining what you know. So then again, this helps with narrowing down those points of confusion. So then you could clearly communicate where you get stuck. And again, because this is a lengthy process, it's always good to end with restating your purpose. So it's clear what your goal is and your intentions are made and communicated to the other person. So again, to formulate an effective conceptual question, we're following these 4 steps. So today's program is about test prep, memorizing info part 1. So this week we want to focus on different methods of memorization. And again, we're all mostly familiar with rote memorization, so memorizing something by repeating it over and over again. So this week we're going to learn together how to memorize other material with 2 other methods, with mnemonic methods. So our session today will be successful if we learn 3 different memorization methods and we practice these methods to be more successful in our test prep. The first question we should address is what does it mean to memorize? So to memorize is to commit to memory, to learn something by heart. So when we have something memorized, there's no question or doubt behind this information. So again, it's something that we're able to communicate clearly because again, it's kind of installed in our memory, in our brain. So this is what it means to memorize something. And this could be achieved in multiple ways. So what ways do you usually memorize information? There's several different ways to memorize. And today we are going to actually go ahead and practice 2 mnemonic devices and then do a refresher on rote memorization. So again, today's agenda is 1, address rote memorization, that verbal repetition, and 2, address mnemonic methods, so image association and acronyms. So verbal repetition. This is often the common approach we take when we want to memorize something. So verbal repetition comes in the form of repeating information out loud, and it's great for your self-test and knowledge. So as we could see, when we apply verbal repetition, there are a few limitations. So what are some limitations you think there are to verbal repetition? Some may include subjects that are maybe more complicated or lengthy information, because again, that requires us to really vocalize a lot of information. So again, those classes that are more complicated, more complex, may not be as an appropriate subject to use verbal repetition. But an example as to where verbal repetition may be useful would be in language classes, where you have to really practice and reinforce that in your brain. And again, that comes through vocalizing this information, by vocalizing those details, and again, communicating using your both auditory learning style. So an activity I'd like to do is also go over how to use other memorization methods. So another one that we are going to discuss today is mnemonic. So that comes with image association. So it's using parts of the words or imagery to remember definitions. So again, this is great for vocab or key terms. So these image associations are good for those complicated subjects, because again, it's a creative way of expressing this information in a different format. So images allow you to use a creative story of a word, or help you visualize something to help you better remember the information you want to memorize. So an example of this is with paramount. So the definition of paramount is more important than anything else, supreme. So the first part of the word para are gliders, so above everything. It's something you're above, kind of on top of things when you're paragliding. So maybe a picture of this could be something floating in the air, because para again means above, and then mount, as in mounting a horse, can make you feel more important or superior to others. So again, breaking up the word paramount in 2 parts and drawing different pictures, where for para, it could be a paragliding person, and mount, you could relate that to a horse. And again, combining those 2 images together could help you really situate that definition for paramount, which again means more important than anything else, or supreme. So again, those associations of pictures kind of demonstrating that superior aspect could help you really gauge the definition for a word like paramount. Moving forward, there are also acronyms we could use. So acronyms are using the first letters or parts of a series of words to create an abbreviation. So this is great for memorizing the order or components of something. So acronyms, again, are most useful in subjects that require that specificity and order. So this could be as in biology. A common subject may come as in meiosis. When you are going through the different stages, you could label each stage and kind of make a story to it using the first letter of each stage. So again, the acronym method is when you take the first letter or words in a series of facts or information to create a made-up word that helps you remember the order events of that. So some examples come with, again, here, Roy G, words red, orange, green, blue, violet, and this could help you remember the order of the rainbow. A common one we also see is in math. So this comes with PEMDAS, which I'm sure you all are familiar with. So PEMDAS means, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And this stands for the order of operations in math, where we use parentheses exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So again, creating this story element that's unique to us, that's personal, will help us again memorize this information, because again, we are dictating what we associate each letter to, and we're doing it in a way that's unique to us. So using these acronyms are good and again, helping retain that information. So one activity that I'd like for us to practice is to, again, create our own acronym. So what we're going to do is come up with an acronym for the 3 methods of memorization we learned today. So the 3 methods are verbal repetition. So that comes with saying the vowels out or outside, vocalizing those. Image association. So again, drawing pictures that relate to certain subjects, certain concepts, and acronyms. So using the first letters of each word to make a story element or an alternate phrase to help us better our memorization. So again, the acronym will stand for VRIAA. So this is verbal repetition, image association, and acronym, which are the 3 methods of memorization we learned today. So you're going to go ahead and use your YSP journal to make an acronym for verbal repetition, image association, and acronym, VRIAA. A second activity is just to go ahead and jot down a few thoughts. So reflect on today's session. So we discussed both the mnemonic method to memorization as well as the rote. So which memorization technique did you like most from today? And how could you use one or more to prep for your next test or quiz? So go ahead and answer these 2 reflection questions in your YSP journal. Thank you. That'll be all for today, and I hope you all have a good week.